note the merge that we just went through?
No.
No? It turned into 2 lanes and then they became 1. Okay, you've got to hit 30 by the 30k sign, so you're still at 40. 10k's over the speed limit will be an immediate fail.
Yeah.
Where's light? Yep. Kia ora and good morning everyone, it's Munib from Social Driving Academy, and today I have Kayla with me and Dad for a restricted mock driving test. So welcome Kayla and Dad. Kayla, you've been on your learners for the last year, so tell me a little bit about your driving so far.
I've been practicing a lot, like every day, my driving, so that's given me like a lot of confidence.
Good work.
Yeah.
Since January last year?
Since I think it was 2 years.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, that's right. So it's been 2 years on your learners, yeah.
Yeah, I've
it's
only
2026 now,
like,
isn't it?
for the past like month or 2. Like,
oh, you've been
like every day, so like.
Oh yeah, okay.
Keeping on to it, because before that I didn't really practice a lot and I didn't have enough confidence.
Okay.
I think I have enough confidence now.
So just over the last month or so, you've been driving lots and driving every day, pretty much.
Yeah.
But you've had your learners for about 2 years.
Yeah.
Cool. And have you attempted the test before then, the restricted?
I haven't.
Okay, cool. And you're familiar with the format of the restricted test? Would you like me to talk you through it briefly, or?
Yeah, I think I understand.
Okay, cool. So what we're going to be doing is going to be similar to that restricted test, except that I'm here to help.
Yeah.
So I'll be taking notes, I'll be giving you feedback as we drive along, but I'll also be taking notes so we can then come back and then debrief together, and then I'll email you through. Do you have any questions before we begin then?
No.
Okay, cool. So whenever you're ready then, Kayla, I'll get you to actually turn your lights on if they aren't already, just because it's raining and visibility is slightly reduced. That way people can see us from further away, if it doesn't help us being able to see any better, but people will be able to see us better. And once you're comfortable with that, I'll get you to reverse out to the right and we'll head in that direction. Oh yeah, handbrake off. Yep, take your time. No worries. Cool, and then a right turn at the end of this driveway here. The window wipers on the left hand side, that lever there on the left. Yeah, cool. And then at the end of the road, turn right. Take your time, of course, the first couple of minutes, just to get used to the car. At the end of the road we'll turn right. Street, turn right. Kayla, are you familiar with what the blind spots are?
Yes, here.
Yeah, cool. Right turn. So whenever you reverse or that you're doing a U-turn like that, you've got to look into your blind spot.
Okay. Yeah.
In the direction that you're indicating, of course. So if you're doing a U-turn, you're indicating to the right, check your blind spot right.
Yeah.
At the end of the road, let's turn around, let's do another U-turn. Got to look into your blind spot as you're working around the center of the dead end. You've got to look further back, so about 5 o'clock. So back towards that side window to the back. Let's turn right into the next street. So it's almost like the 5 o'clock on the right and the 7 o'clock on the left. The blind spots. Or you're just trying to look back towards into the side back windows there. Let's do a U-turn. So remember, indicate, check your mirrors, check your blind spot right. Yeah, that's where you're looking further back. And that way you're looking out for any cars that might come in from behind you and not give you way. Turning into the driveways. Right turn. Road, turn right. At the next street, turn left. To the end of the road and then turn right. Turn right from the left right turning lane. left some more, Kayla. When you're turning left, turn left from the left side of the of our lane into the left side of the lane that we're turning into. All the way to the end of the road and then turn right. At the next street, turn right. And then let's do another U-turn at the end of the road. So remember, indicate, check your mirrors, check your blind spot right. You could probably use the wider part of the dead end, so like right towards the end. Left turn. Up next to that SUV on the left hand side, that little green Jeep after the big truck, and then we'll do a reverse parallel park behind it. You've got this? No, you've got this. You've still got room to correct this. So, you know, you're a little bit far from the curb. So, what do you need to do now? What do you think?
To reverse a little bit.
Yeah, and get closer to the curb. So, steer to the left. That's it. Just watch out for the vehicles coming in from behind us. That's it. Plenty of time, and you've still got room to correct. Yeah. So. Just look into those blind spots again, because you did a bit of a pause, and then once you start to reverse again, keep coming into the left some more, keep coming into the left some more. You're still far, you've still got plenty of room. Take your time, yeah, that's it. Cool, good work. And then pull forward and get closer to the curb again, and closer to the vehicle in front. That's it. Nice. Cool. And then when you're done, you've got to go into park and apply the handbrake, and I'll just let the testing officer know you're done. Cool. Okay, let's have a look. Yep, good. So that's within 30 centimeters of the curb. And then you've got to stop between 1.5 2 meters of the car in front, but that's okay. We're probably about 2.5 meters away, 3 meters away, but that's still okay. And then you've got to be 1 meter away from any driveway. You've got 2 minutes to do this exercise, so you've got plenty of time. Just take your time. And that you've got 4 movements from the reverse movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got loads of room, opportunity to fix anything that doesn't go quite right. Cool. The only comment there is that when you pull up alongside the car on the left, you've got to indicate and check your mirrors, check your blind spot left. and then before you reverse, you've got to look into both your blind spots. And then if you pause in between, you've got to look into both those blind spots again.
Okay.
And then just the continuous monitoring of the blind spots.
Yeah.
Cool. Any questions?
No.
Cool. Whenever you're ready, then let's move off. Look into your blind spot right. Yeah. So anytime you're indicating almost, you've got to look into the blind spot in that direction. Left turn. End of the road, turn left. Turn right. So because you're kind of changing lanes into the right turn lane, you've got to look into your blind spot there too. So mirrors indicate blind spot. Mirror checking too, Kayla. So before and after any change, and then about every 10 seconds in between. So by change, I mean like prior to turning, prior to going into a corner, prior to changing lanes. Look into your mirrors, and then look into your mirrors after. At the traffic light, turn right, using the left right turning lane. That's it. Once you've come out of that turn. turn left. Check your mirrors once you've come out of that last turn. Yeah, so check your mirrors before and after. roundabout right turn. Third exit. This is all a 30k zone. Just past the 30k sign. At the end of the road, turn right. Let's do a U-turn at the end of the road. So, okay, check mirrors, check the blind spot. Yep. End of the road here, left turn. At the roundabout, left turn. And you're back into a 50k zone. At the next street, turn right. And let's get you to pull up on the left hand side anywhere along here. Ideally you also check your blind spot left as well when you pull up and get a little bit closer to the curb. Yeah. Anytime you're indicating, just have a look into the blind spot in that direction. Cool, let's do a 3-point turn. Let's turn around. 3-point turn. End of the road, turn right. two, prior to the lane splitting into two, you should check your mirrors, check your blind spot in the direction or into the lane that you're moving into, in the direction of the lane that you're moving into. Yeah. Move forward a little bit more, Kayla. You maybe about 2 meters away from the giveaway line. When safe, change lanes to the right. Traffic light, turn right. Note the merge that we just went through? No? We turned into two lanes and then they became one. So obviously there you've got to indicate your mirrors, check blind spot. At the next street, turn right.
Straight into that street.
Correct, you are, yeah. So this is almost like a flush median, but wide enough that we end up. And then let's get you to pull up anywhere along the left hand side, potentially perhaps after the intersection on the left, just beside that lamppost on the left. Cool. Kayla, you're doing really well.
Yeah.
Can I just suggest maybe just slowing down a little bit more into your intersections?
Yeah.
And then just slowly, gradually moving off from, you know, when the light turns green, for example, that you accelerate gradually so that you can scan ahead and look for those merges, look for those signs. Cool.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready, let's do a U-turn. Let's turn around. Because you're driving really well. But you're just going a little bit fast into your intersections and coming out of them a little bit fast, and then you're going to miss cues like that. That's it. All the way to the end of the road, and then let's turn right at the end. Slowing in some more. Yep. And turning right. That's it. Nice. And then you're going to give way to your left. Cool. Yeah, the slower you go into your intersections, the more time you've got to scan for, you know, your gap, signs, your path, hazards. At the traffic light, turn right. next street, turn right. And then at the traffic light we'll turn right. Safe, change lanes to the left. And then at the traffic light to the left. Roundabout straight ahead, second exit. Just remember, slow in. Straight ahead. Turns into a bus lane, so change lanes to the right. So it's a bus lane Monday to Sunday, every day of the week, from 6 AM to 7 PM, all day pretty much. So if you come out this way, just be aware that that left lane is a bus lane. This is Lambie Drive. Straight ahead. see by the 30k sign, so you're still at 40. 10 k's over the speed limit will be an immediate fail.
Yeah.
So look out for that sign, and then by that sign you've got to already be doing the slower speed limit. That's it. Good. Cool. And then you've got to maintain that slower speed speed limit until the higher speed sign, and only then can you accelerate. At the roundabout, let's turn around, so let's take the third exit. Third exit, we're doing a U-turn. Slow. Next street, turn left. Crossing the center of the road or the center line to pass parked cars, then you've got to indicate, check mirrors, check blind spot to go across, cancel signal, and then indicate, check mirrors, check blind spot to come back in. So like now, for example, yep, that's it. More to the right, yep, indicate to come back in, yep, cancel signal, indicate to go back out. Blind spot, indicate to come back in. At the end of the road, turn right. One lane splits into two, and both lanes are going in the same direction, in the direction that you're traveling in, then ideally you stay to the left. The road code says keep left unless you're passing, overtaking, turning right. Otherwise stay in the left lane. And then for that, indicate, check mirrors, check blind spot, and then move into the respective lane. Yeah. Cool. Straight ahead. light, turn right using the far right lane. Maybe stay a little bit more to the left to avoid the water. Yeah. Merge was kind of back there, but it was more that the left lane turned into a left turning lane only.
Yeah.
So really it's not a merge for us.
Oh, okay.
But if we are moving into the center, or we're worried about the left lane vehicles maybe merging into us, then we could go through the motions of merging in. Cool. At the roundabout straight ahead, second exit. Straight ahead. At the roundabout, left turn, first exit. Safe, change lanes to the right and then straight ahead. Straight ahead. And then turn right at the traffic light. So let's change lanes into the right turn lane.
thought you might miss the turn.
Oh, no, I just didn't see this.
Oh, yeah, yeah. change lanes to the right. And at the traffic light, turn right using the far right lane. Turn right into the VTNZ driveway. Follow the road to the right. So you could indicate to say that you're diverging to the right there, and then indicate check mirrors, check blind spot.
Yeah.
Turn left into the second driveway on the left, this one here, and then park up anywhere on the left or the right. Cool. Park, break up and leave the engine running, and maybe just turn the lights off.
Oh yeah.
Cool. All right, we're back. How was that?
Yes.
Yeah, you reckon good?
Yeah.
What about you, Kayla? How do you reckon you went?
I reckon it was like starting to get better, especially checking my blind spots.
Yeah.
Because at the start I didn't really check that far enough.
Yeah, there was a couple of dead ends that we did, right?
Yeah.
But then, the blind spots otherwise were quite good, with the mergers, with the change lanes.
Yeah.
So just remembering that anytime that you're indicating almost, then go ahead and check the blind spot in that direction. Like for example, also the center line when you're crossing over that, or the middle of the road, or that the road's so narrow because of parked cars on both sides, and then you're having to move into the middle. Then in that situation, to indicate check mirrors, check blind spot, move across, same thing back. Cool. Anything else that you did well? Anything that you didn't do so well?
I feel like my braking was a little bit too harsh sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Especially at the traffic light when it was turning orange.
Oh yeah, I suppose that was a one-off kind of situation. You were probably thinking about other things.
Yeah. I was like checking in the mirrors and I didn't realize the light had turned orange.
Yeah. So it's probably more important that you do stop for the orange light and brake harshly if you do need to, so long as there's no one behind us, then to run the orange light or the red light. So it's okay to press the brake down hard to be able to stop for the orange light. But in that situation, what you do want to do is constantly monitor the mirrors so that you know that there's no one behind you before you go to slam the brake. Anything else?
No, I can't think of anything else.
Alright, what about you, Dad? How about you? Is there anything else that you might have picked up? Anything that she did well? Anything that you thought that she could
I think just approaching the intersections, just slowing down a bit, so that she can just focus on what's around her and just make sure it's safe. Turning and
what's her intersection speed and approach like in your guys' car? Because I understand that obviously this is
it's
your
right. I
own
think
car.
this is a different vehicle.
This is like a little bit more touchier.
It's a
probably.
because it's a sports model, so it's a little bit of accelerator does go a long way. But I took that into consideration as well, that it's a different car, so you did well in terms of adjusting for it. And that's why I just kept reminding you that take your time in the first 5-10 minutes to get used to it. I'll just turn the wipers off. Cool. I too thought, Kayla, you did really well. The beginning was a little bit obviously just because of the change of car, the blind spot checks for the dead ends. I reminded you a couple of times. And then also the first couple of intersections where you did left turns, you were turning from the right side of the lane.
So I should move more to the left to go.
To the left. So you're turning from the left of your lane into the left of your lane, and likewise if you're turning right, for example, right into this driveway, then you're turning right from your lane into the right of the lane that you're turning into. but after the first 5-10 minutes, you know, your driving did sort of get comfortable. You got comfortable, and then your driving sort of adjusted itself. The mirror checks, of course, you know, check those frequently. So I'll just go through the notes. So mirror checks, just more frequent mirror checks before and after any maneuver, and then about every 10 seconds in between. You're almost looking back as much as you're looking forward, right?
Yeah.
In some sense. So you're just constantly monitoring the what's going on behind you. And then the blind spot checks, like I mentioned, if you're indicating, then go ahead and check that blind spot in that direction. Even the road code goes as far as saying that, like, if you're doing a left turn, if you're doing turns, then check the blind spot, you know, in that direction too. So if you just use that as a rule for the purpose of the tests and stuff. And then I've also got scanning, so just scanning ahead, you know, scanning into your turn so that you can identify the road ahead, how many lanes there are that you're turning into, any signs, you know, up ahead. But also just another little tip, like for example, if we're stopped at a traffic light and we're the lead vehicle, and then the light turns green, and regardless of which direction we're turning into, then you should have a bit of a scan into the intersection to make sure that everybody has come to a stop and no one's going to run the red light. Cool. And then just with the reversing, check both your blind spots before you reverse. And if you do pause, for example, that reverse parallel park, you check your blind spots when you moved, and then you paused because you were too far away. And then before you begin to reverse again, check both your blind spots again, because there's a break in between. And then the lane positioning comments, just in regards to when you're turning left, then stay left. If you're turning right, turn from the right side into the right side. But also when you were reversing out here, in the beginning, you stopped at like this kind of angle here, like in the middle of the road. Rather than that, you know, you could just continue reversing so that you're straight, and then all you've got to do is pull forward, and then you're on the right side of the road too, the correct side. Also when merging onto the motorway, what you could do is, like, you could just use the entire merge lane to accelerate and then merge at the end, particularly if there's no traffic around us and, you know, we're having to rush into a gap. Then you could just use the entire merge lane to merge, rather than to change lanes early. Cool. And then the steering, like, you had control throughout the mock test, so you know, not a issue in terms of losing control. But sometimes when you're turning, you've got your hands locked on the wheel, and then you're turning like this, and then you're just keeping your hands locked on the wheel, rather than like just moving the steering wheel through your hands and then keeping your hands in the 1/4-3 position on top of the road. So if you could just practice that, maybe go into a large car park and then just do some figure eights, and then just practice like moving the wheel through your hands and then keeping your hands in this kind of position. It's acceptable to like maybe lock your hands for, like, you know, a 20-30 degree sort of turn, but then if you're going all the way, at some point you're gonna not be able to steer any further. And then just that intersection approaching speed, so if you could just decelerate in and then accelerate gradually out so that you can scan ahead. Cool. So that's just some general points. In terms of the specific maneuvers, the reverse park, you did well. Just make sure that you check both your blind spots before and while you're reversing, and then if you pause in between, that you check your blind spots again. And then obviously just knowing how to correct if you end up too far away, or if you end up too close. You know, you've still got that 4 movements, you've still got the 2 minutes, so just continuing, just carrying on. So you don't have to go back to starting from the beginning. You just carry on adjusting to fix for that. We already talked about the dead ends, so just making sure that you check your blind spots, and maybe use the wider part of the dead end. The 3-point turn was good, the U-turn was good. Just when you're moving into the flush median from the top of the road, there was at one point where you kind of changed lanes into a flush median, a right turn bay, and you didn't check your blind spot.
Yeah.
So just making sure you do that. Like if it's a right turn bay that begins with the flush median, or whether it's just a flush median like this, if you're changing lanes into it, then to check your blind spot right in that direction. So yeah, that was one just sort of early on, maybe about 20 minutes into the drive. And then we did that big sort of unusual flush median bit in the middle of the road. We turned right from the top of the road for it, and then we turned right from the bottom of the road for it as well. Do you guys remember that one? You know, on it's on Druce's road. Druce's? Yeah, it's a Dalgety, where we turned right, and then there was that merge that you missed, that same road, and then we turned right not soon after that. So yeah, that bit of a unusual kind of road. That it is Druce's. That's sort of nowhere else. These kind of flush medians, or these kind of
between the islands.
Between the islands. I'm not even sure what to call them, but I just refer to them as flush medians because they kind of do the same objective. And then what you'd want to do is like move into it, and then be sort of laterally positioned opposite the road that you're turning into. And then if you're turning right from the bottom, what I'd probably do is just go straight ahead and then just stop in that kind of position, so that you're on the left side of the road, and that if anyone's turning right, they can sort of move into the other side of the right side of the road, and it'll be easier for you to scan to the left rather than to stop in that kind of position where you're blocking off the wrong side of the road, and then it'll be harder for you to scan in that direction. So just in case they take you out that way, that's what I would do. Cool. The change lanes were all good. The merges, you missed that merge on Druce's road, and then same thing with jumping onto the motorway. You missed that merge where the two lanes became one. Prior to the merge onto the motorway, like there was a merging of the two lanes into one. So indicate, check your mirrors, check your blind spot. And then I also said that when the lane splits into two, then go through that same exercise, indicate, mirrors, blind spot, and perhaps also start to position yourself for whichever lane that you're moving into early. Cool. And then we talked about reversing, checking both your blind spots before, during reversing, and that reverse to straighten up, just come all the way back and then straighten up.
So the lane split that you're talking about, is that when you've got the dots like that? So you kind of before the dots, kind of like get into the left before the dots, and then just go over the dots like that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's right.
That's kind of what you mean, rather than waiting for the dots and then pulling
Correct.
like that.
Correct. Yeah. So rather than waiting for the lane and then having to do a sharper turn, just move into the lane early. I mean, this one here, a lane opens up to the left, but imagine if this was a straight road, rather than waiting till here to, move into the lane that you want to move into, you can start to position yourself to the left or to the right. If you and then go through that indicate, mirror, blind spot. Cool. So Kayla, not too bad today. A couple of critical errors. So for not checking into your blind spot for the dead ends, and there was a couple of those. And then not indicating, failing to signal and failing to look into your blind spot for a couple of merges, the one on Druce's and then the one onto the motorway. And then also not indicating, not checking your blind spot for the first time that we crossed over the middle of the road to pass the parked cars. So I've just got center line there. And then a couple of immediate failure errors as well for going too fast over the speed limit.
30K zone.
30K zone. So just making sure that you're hitting the 30 before the 30K sign. So not too bad. Pretty close to being able to be ready for your test. Are you booked in for your test already?
No, I'm not.
And so I was a little bit nervous myself in the beginning because even me, I don't like being observed. So I forgot to ask you, was it mostly Dad that's taught you how to drive, and been practicing with Dad?
I've been practicing with you.
Have you had any lessons or anything like that along the way? driving instructor lessons?
Not driving instructor lessons,
Ah,
just
yeah.
with my dad.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're almost ready to sit your test. You're probably
Yeah.
about 90% there. If you look to maybe book in for like maybe a month from now, then that'll give you 4 weeks to practice together. And then you could focus some of that practice around the observation, the more frequent mirror checking, the blind spot checking, and then the scanning ahead, looking for those cues, looking for those signs. And then you could watch out for the lane positioning as well, so that when she's turning, you're turning from the correct side of the road into the correct side, and maybe do a little bit of practice with the steering. That's pretty much the theme of everything else here. It's really just about the blind spot checks, and everything else is pretty much in relation to that, and then the positioning. And then obviously just looking out for the temporary speed limit signs, and then abiding to that speed limit. Any questions? No?
The roundabout
Yep.
entries was all fine. Like if you're going straight ahead, you don't
Yep.
have to indicate.
Correct.
When you're exiting the roundabout, you're turning in.
Left.
Correct. Yep.
That's all
Yep.
correct. And
Yep.
the other thing was, like, I think when she was doing the parallel parking, it was indicating to go left
Yes.
to reverse in. But then because it wasn't lined up, the indicator had flipped off,
Yep.
like the left indicator.
Yeah.
But I don't think she put it back on again to
Yeah.
to adjust herself. But there were cars coming to go past her, but I don't think she was
Yeah.
indicating.
Yeah.
Because they had flipped off, you see.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
just didn't think to like flick it back on.
Yeah. I wouldn't think that'd be a major, like, in terms of turning it back on. If you remember to, then you're welcome to turn your indicator back on. But in terms of the testing requirement, you've got to indicate, and then if it does cancel itself, then it's good to indicate again. But otherwise, just focus on completing the maneuver safely. Make sure that you monitor your blind spots, and then carry on. But if you do sort of remember that, the indicator's cancelled, boom, turn it back on. But there is this certain angle, like with the steering wheel, where it'll just constantly just keep cancelling itself. Then if it does that, the second time round, then just don't worry about it. Just focus on the maneuver.
The you know how there's like cars parked, they're quite close to the centre line, and you've got to like indicate right to go past because you're going past the middle line.
The middle of the road.
I know you got to do it, but it's quite strange when you got to do it and then indicate it, and then there's another one that's out. And out, and you're like constantly going like this. Right through.
That's it.
A long road. But if you were doing it down by those trucks, you'd be constantly doing it.
That is the case.
But you just got to keep on doing it, no matter
You do,
what, right?
and ideally it's like short, sharp as well, so that you're not confusing people thinking that you're going to be turning in to a lane. Obviously, if the gaps are narrow between the parked cars, then just stay out and don't worry about cancelling. Don't worry about indicating to come back in. But if the gaps are quite wide, then you are having to indicate to come back in. That's what the restricted test guidebook says, and that's what the road code says. If you're diverging, if you're crossing the center of the road, then to indicate. But then some testing officers will use their own subjectivity and say, don't worry about indicating. But you should always try and just apply the rules so that they don't try and throw you off. So it can sometimes be tricky like that. Some will want you to do it, others won't want you to do it, but that's what the testing requirement needs you to do. So cool. So good work. I mean, the reason I asked whether you were working with a driving instructor was that potentially if you had a driving instructor, then you could expedite some of these learnings, like if you did a session with him. So if you do want, then I do have colleagues that work around Manukau as well. Welcome to text me if you would like me to connect you with them, and then you could maybe do 1 or 2 sessions and just fix these issues, and then get up to the 105% mark before your test, and then be able to get that pass on your first go. Otherwise, you're welcome to just practice, and then if you like, then you could always come back in for another mock test before your test, or even with another colleague, so that it can replicate the situation of someone new testing you, being observed by someone that you're not familiar with. Any questions?
No.
No? Okay, cool. I'll email this through to you. And then you've got my number if you'd like me to connect you with a driving instructor for a couple of driving lessons to work on these issues, or to do another mock test prior to your test. Then just text me through. Cool.
Sounds good.
I think I have in my messy, I didn't want to open my messy glove box here, but here's my card.
Thank you.
Any questions, Kayla or Dad?
No, yeah.
All right,
I
cool.
think I've got everything I need.
Yo,
to know.
so really well done today. Yeah, I think 4 weeks should be more than sufficient for you to get up to that 105% mark. Cool. Okie dokie then, have a good day, and then look forward to hearing back from you, and then let me know how you get on with the practice and next steps.
Okay, thank you.